Hello, everybody. This is Pedro, and today I want to talk about messaging, specifically around the fact that I've met several people, and maybe you are one of these people, who feel that your message is not really coming across, is not really landing to your prospects. And I want to talk about and take deep dives about this because this was actually one of my biggest insights that I've learned, and I wanted to share this with you as well because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, really relevant to you, and perhaps it's gonna give you exactly the same, level of insights that I also felt myself. So potentially, I'm gonna start with this. Potentially, the main reason of why your messaging is not landing is because most likely, and I want you to think about this, most likely you are focused more on logic rather than on emotion. And what I mean by emotion is not emotion as in like manipulation of emotions. It's most likely because you are more focused on the tactics that you got from different sources, YouTube videos or people that you look up to or whatever. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. But you are more focused on those tactics rather than making yourself known as yourself in terms of like your beliefs, your values, your experience, because you are more focused on the tactical side of things, right? And if you think about it, it's based on your beliefs, experiences, values, etc. That's how people connect with you. And remember this also, that people will buy from A or B, all right, not based on their program or whatever, because they don't know, right? They haven't bought it yet, they haven't experienced yet, so they don't know. So the decision comes from the resonance and the connection that the prospect feels about, person A versus person B, right? That's how you come across, and that's exactly how you will get people in and pushing other people away, that are not based on your ICP, your ideal client profile, right? So if your messaging is really founded on who you truly are, right, that means that there's a way better chance that the right people, meaning your ideal client profile, right, that's your right people, they will naturally engage, not based on the offer, but based on how you come across, because the offer becomes immediately, you know a second thing. It's not even like the primary thing that they're looking at. There's something in you that resonates with them, and that's exactly what it takes for them to take the next step, which is they want to learn more from you, they want to see more of your content, they want to see what other things that you might offer, right? They want to consume more of you, basically, right? Because there's that the resonance part is there. And as a natural consequence of that resonance, what happens is that this is super, super, insightful, I think. At least it was for me, and perhaps it will be for you. But if you have like this founded messaging, like as like your true self, basically, that resonance that will come across will have a natural consequence of you feeling more relaxed. Think about this. You're feeling more relaxed because you're not pretending being someone that you're not. You are being yourself. And so that relaxation will turn into a natural magnetism, all right? If you're having trouble about like thinking about this, think about yourself at your best, like how you interact with your friends, your family, what they think about you, all that kind of stuff. So that's your true natural magnetism, all right? That's why you have the friends that you have, right? And also, as a consequence, the caliber of people, of potential clients, or even people that turn into clients, the caliber, it's exactly the type of people that should be working with you. For both parts, it's the type of people that, will naturally be a fit from them to you, and it's exactly the type of people that you want to work with as well. So everything becomes way more easy from that point onwards. And what also happens, as I said before, when you are being your true self, what naturally happens as well, and you are totally at ease with this, is that you will attract some people and will repel some other people. And that's totally not, it's not only okay. I was about to say that's okay. No, it's not only okay, it's actually what you want, because you don't want to work with everybody. just for the sake of the number. You want to work, yeah, the bigger the number, the best, right? In theory, but only if it's the right people for you. Because if it's not the right people, it's going to be just a matter of scaling in the wrong way, and that's never, a pleasant experience for either part, by the way, right? I'll give you an example of what I'm about to say. For example, I don't resonate with the external signs of wealth like private jets or watches or cars or something like that. I'm not that kind of person, right? But a lot of other people are. And that's totally fine. That's okay. From the perspective of who's using that message, which can be totally true to themselves, that's fine. I'm not questioning that necessarily speaking, although there's a lot of things that are, they're not true, but let's put that aside. Even from that perspective, they're not speaking clearly. They're not speaking to people like me because I don't resonate with that. So I'm not the type of clients that they're trying to attract because I'm simply not attracted. You see what I'm saying? So let other people be that kind of profile, because there's that profile as well, right? That's totally fine. The real danger, however, is when you try to use someone else's tactics, okay, based on exactly these kind of things, or fears, or just logic or whatever, especially if they are not aligned to who you really are. Why? Well, first of all, even before going to the why, does it work? Yes, it works. It can work. You can be very successful with that kind of tactic, let's put it this way, which is pretending someone that you not really are. It can work, but there will come a point in which that kind of approach is not sustainable. And one of the things about either you, your mind, or your business will start to crack. And when that happens, everything becomes really confusing because you've been playing that game for a while. It was working until it was not working. And then everything becomes like really confusing about like, is it you? Is it the business? Is it the market? Is whatever, right? Most likely is exactly what I'm talking about. Is your messaging that is not resonant to who you really are. And so it's not sustainable. And other people, other human beings, because since we were born, we are interacting with other human beings. We are it's very easy to pick up on those things. You can fake it for a while, but I think after a while, I think it's really easy to other people will pick up on those things. And also your being internally will also deny that over time. Not immediately, but over time. Because I think it's in the natural state of every human being to be honest about who you are, about yourself, about others, about what you really think about, all that kind of stuff. And that can be on a very good things and even bad things, right? But if you are putting a mask all the time, there will come a point in which some of the things, whether it's in the business context, whether it's your business or your mind or whatever, right, will start to crack, and that becomes really confusing. And how do I know this? Because I felt that as well when I started doing that without realizing that I was doing that. Why? Because we are bombarded every day through social media with all these tactics that I just mentioned during this video until now. And then we naturally are inclined to think, well, if it's working for others, if they're showing all these signs, we don't even most of the times question whether it's true, it's fake, is this, is that. Because the truth is, we don't know exactly what's going behind the scenes. We just don't know. We just know like the facade of it, which can be true or not true, right? But we don't truly know. But because you don't know, you will naturally think that, well, if it's working for others at that level, maybe that's exactly what I need to do. Maybe I need to be flashy like they are, for example. Maybe I need to show this type of things, this flashy stuff, right? If that's you'll do that naturally. You don't need that kind of examples, almost, right? That can give you ideas, but you don't need those examples. But if it's not you, you are just putting a mask, and that will crack over time. And I'm going to give you an example. As I said before, I built my business from 0 to 7 figures based on my intuition, my knowledge, my technicality about like all these things. I'm a technical guy, and my mission aligned, as I said before, based on my intuition. It was lean, it was very profitable, it was successful. And from the moment that I tried to step into other people's version of how things should be ran, then I start feeling the cracks over time. And that left me like really confused because I didn't like it was working before. Now I'm applying all these things that are supposed to work even better, and they are not working as they were before. And so that's a very strange place to be. And that's the reason of why I'm recording this video, because I know that a lot of people are trying to impersonate, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes it's unconsciously, but trying to impersonate a version of themselves that it's not really aligned to who they really are, with the hopes that that will attract more wealth to them. When in fact, that's exactly the opposite, because it's just not a sustainable kind of model, let's put it this way. So intuition is the really keyword here, I would say. And what is intuition? Well, let's try to unpack this a little bit. I would say that intuition is a rare state stemmed from the alignment between your true mission, purpose, and messaging that are validated by the results. Not based on anybody else's, but on your true self. And this is, I think, really, really important to understand, because the validation part is also important, because that's what gives you sort of like more certainty about things are working this way, which can be, and even if they're not working like fully, it might be just a knowledge issue, like a tactical issue or whatever it may be, which is part of like any sort of businesses or any type of thing that you need to do. There's some technicalities about it, right? That's why, you know, you work with mentors and people that you look up to, that you know that they can help. But it's based on intuition. You know, your body will know, your mind will know. And so when you are choosing working with someone else, it can be really valuable. It can save you a lot of time. It can save you a lot of money as well, by the way, with like avoiding trial and error and stuff like that. And it can be a very pleasant experience, but it can also be a very unpleasant experience, because the results will not come, because the resonance was not there in the first place from the right place. The resonance that you felt was potentially based on the fear or on the flashy tactics that you made you also want to have that for yourself. So it needs to get a little bit of FOMO, you know, which is fine, you know. That's part of like how you try to attract some of your potential prospects, not by driving fear into them, but try to understand their fears so you can try to see if you are the right person to help them. That's totally fine. I don't have any problem with that. But when you try to work with someone else, you need to understand, is it really this, is it really speaking to me, this, you know, this message, or what am I feeling? Is it just the fear of losing, you know, something that I don't even have yet, but I want it? Is it because I want that flashy car as well? Or is it because I want the watch? Or is it because I want, you know, fly private or whatever it may be, right? Because those kind of things can be totally fine as long as they are aligned to who you really are, as opposed to using those tactics because someone else used them as well. So when you are trying to work with someone to get better at your business, I think, as I said before, it's like one of the best things that you can do. But when you choosing to who you really want to work with, choose based on resonance, whether or not that is really speaking to you. And you know what? The best thing about this is that your body and your mind will know. Your body and your mind will know. When that hits, it really hits. It's undeniable. You know, you cannot fake it. You know, I felt this with some people. I thought I felt some sort of this with some other people, and it didn't work. Because I knew deep down, I knew that this was not actually the resonance, the true resonance to who I really am or was at that time. You know? So this is so important. And because I've experienced this myself, I wanted to give you this insight as well, because I know that a lot of people are with this doubt, like, why is not my message resonating? Well, it's because you are more focused, as I said before in the beginning of this video, on the logic part of your offer, on the offer itself, rather than whether or not your message is really resonating at a mental level that then will, you know, hit this part as opposed to just this. right? It's really resonating here as opposed to just here. That's basically what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, you know? So when that doesn't happen, all it becomes like about like it's, it feels like ChatGPT stuff, right? ChatGPT is a very powerful tool, by the way. Okay, don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that it becomes more generic, not necessarily speaking founded on who you really are, and therefore you are not capable of truly attracting the people that you really want to work with, or attracting, anyone. I've met people that are not capable of attracting anyone. You know, so that's the type of message that I wanted to, an insight perhaps that I want to, and hopefully, that's a good insight for you. But this is the type of video that I wanted to do today, because I know that so many people are confused by this exact, you know, question. Why is it not resonating? Why is it not landing? I'm saying all the right things. It's logical. It's logical to me. I've asked other people. It's logical to them. But that's not what drives people to sort of like fall in love with you, for lack of a better word, right? To really resonate with you, you need to be yourself. Because when you are being yourself, as I said before, there's a certain relaxation about your body and about your mind, and you're not faking anything. And that's exactly what drives other people towards your message as opposed to the flashy stuff or whatever, you know? So hopefully you like it, guys. And I wish you all the best and see you next time. All right. Bye bye.